And from the big companies to the smaller ones, this week is Small Business Week. So let's focus on what they are saying about the economy and the challenges they face. We're joined by Karen Mills, Administrator of the U.S. Small Business Administration, and Jack Dorsey, Twitter co-founder and CEO of the technology firm Square. Welcome to both of you. Let me begin, Ms. Mills, with you. What are small businesses telling you about how they view the economy today?
Well, this is National Small Business Week, and we have just finished crossing the country. We started in Seattle at Microsoft's headquarters with hundreds of small businesses. We went to Dallas, to St. Louis, and we talked about everything from technology to manufacturing. And small business is really on a rising trend across the country, partly because technology is leveling the playing field, and we're finding small businesses that can compete with large ones, and also because there's onshoring. Manufacturing is actually coming back to this country, and small businesses in the supply chain are benefiting. So when we look at the trend today, despite the markets today, the long-term trends for small businesses are accelerating the recovery that has really been quite promising in the last year.
We certainly do see some of that onshoring, the return of manufacturing jobs to the United States. But Ms. Mills, when I speak to small business owners, they seem quite worried about two areas of uncertainty. One is taxes, and the other is health care under the Affordable Care Act. What do you tell them to expect there? What are you telling them to get ready for?
Well, there's nothing that small businesses like better than a tax credit, and that's one of the reasons why we've actually passed 18 tax credits over the last several years to make sure they have more money in their pocket to invest in their businesses. And in the case of Affordable Care Act, there is actually some very interesting positive news coming, because one of the things small businesses really care about is access to affordable care. And for small businesses, particularly those under 50, they are now going to be able to go into marketplaces starting the first of next year, where they're going to have insurance companies actually bidding on their business. You know, small businesses pay 18% more than big companies for the same health care just because they're small. And now with the marketplaces, they're going to be able to make apples to apples comparisons and get a better deal.
Mr. Dorsey, you started small businesses, and some of them have become big businesses. I was speaking just yesterday with Neil Ferguson of Harvard, and he was decrying how hard he sees it today to start a small business in America. Do you see it that way? Is it harder than it used to be? Is it too hard?
I think it's one of the toughest things ever to get going and to start, but technology is enabling people to start faster and to start with less resources. So we see a trend in people using devices they already know how to use. Their 2-year-olds know how to use. They can buy, anywhere in America and instantly start participating on. So we love this, especially at Square, where we've enabled a bunch of small businesses not only to accept credit cards with a device they already have, such as their phone or their iPad, but also it accounts for their entire business. So
he was really pointing, I think, more towards red tape and permits and things that he had to go through to get his business off the ground. Let me turn the conversation, Mr. Dorsey, if I might. One of the other things that small business people tell me or ask me all the time is, I want to use social media to help my business. I want to use technology to do it. I don't know how, and I'm a little afraid of it. What's the best single piece of advice you could give a small business person about using social media to grow their business?
The simplest thing is to talk about what you love. Tweet about what you love, Facebook about what you love, take pictures about your craft, about your business. That's what's engaging to your customers. And these are tools just to broadcast, to accelerate, to increase the participation of people who might be able to see them. So don't be overwhelmed by the concept of technology, but just speak as you would to any customer walking into your store.
Jack Dorsey.
And small businesses just love the fact that they can now get on Twitter, they can talk right to customers, and technology is really allowing them to do things that they couldn't before. Even using Square, food trucks and others can use credit cards. So it's really opening up. The innovations that have come from companies like Jack's are really opening up the playing field for small businesses.
Mr. Dorsey, Ms. Mills, thank you very much for being with us this evening, and congratulations on Small Business Week.